Welcome to today's video, where we delve into the powerful emotional journey of someone who realizes your worth too late. This bittersweet process often involves a deep reflection on the impact you had on their life and the things they took for granted during your time together. As we explore these emotions, we will highlight the key stages of realization that often follow when someone comes to understand the true value of what they lost in you. Life often teaches us lessons in unexpected ways, and sometimes it takes distance and time for people to truly appreciate the importance of what they had. This video will walk you through 9 profound emotional experiences that unfold when someone recognizes, too late, how much you contributed to their life, emotionally, mentally, and even spiritually. Whether it's the stability you provided, the loyalty you gave, or the growth they see in you after you've moved on, these moments of realization can be both painful and transformative. We will also explore how these realizations can lead to growth not just for them, but for you as well. When someone finally understands your worth, it can serve as a mirror that reflects not only their own mistakes, but also your strength and resilience. In the end, the silence and distance you create might be the very catalyst for both of you to evolve into stronger, wiser individuals. If you've ever been in a situation where someone only came to appreciate you after you were gone, this video is for you. Get ready for a deep dive into the powerful emotional shifts that follow when someone truly grasps what they lost, and learn how to embrace your worth throughout the process. Let's get started. Number 1. The initial ignorance. When someone has you in their life, it's all too easy for them to overlook your value. Familiarity breeds comfort, and with comfort, the true significance of what you bring to the relationship can fade into the background. This stage, the initial ignorance, is marked by a lack of awareness about just how much you contribute emotionally, mentally, and even practically. At first, your efforts, loyalty, and presence are seen as constants, things that will always be there no matter what. It's not malicious. It's human nature to take consistent goodness for granted. They might even convince themselves that what you provide is not exceptional, but ordinary, something they can easily find elsewhere. This perception often stems from an inability to reflect deeply on what truly matters in a connection. In this phase, they fail to notice the countless ways you make their life better. Perhaps it's your unwavering support when they're struggling, your ability to listen without judgment, or the quiet stability you bring to turbulent moments. These qualities, though invaluable, often go unacknowledged because they are offered so generously. This ignorance is compounded by their focus on the imperfections in the relationship, minor disagreements or unmet expectations that overshadow the bigger picture. Instead of appreciating the balance you bring, they might fixate on what they feel is missing, oblivious to the fact that the grass isn't always greener on the other side. As the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius wisely advised, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This stage reveals how a lack of mindfulness and gratitude can lead to blind spots in relationships. They're so focused on external desires or fleeting frustrations that they fail to cultivate gratitude for the present. The initial ignorance often feels frustrating for you, the person giving so much. You might wonder, why don't they see how much I care? But it's essential to understand that their lack of recognition says more about their self-awareness and emotional maturity than about your worth. Many people aren't equipped to truly value what they have until it's no longer there. This phase can be particularly damaging when left unchecked. Over time, the imbalance between what you give and what they acknowledge can lead to feelings of being undervalued or unappreciated. This isn't just about receiving thanks or praise, It's about feeling seen and understood. And when that doesn't happen, the seeds of distance are planted. However, the ignorance isn't always permanent. Life has a way of teaching lessons, often through loss. When you decide to step back, whether to protect your peace, prioritize your own growth, or simply because the relationship has run its course, it creates a void. This void serves as the first real wake-up call for the other person. Suddenly, the small gestures, the comforting words, the stability you brought to their life are gone, and the weight of your absence begins to set in. It's in the silence of your absence that they start to reflect. They might realize how much they relied on your kindness, or how rare it is to find someone as patient and supportive as you were. The ignorance that once clouded their perception begins to clear, replaced by the discomforting realization that they've lost something irreplaceable. The irony of this stage is that it's preventable. If only they had taken a moment to express gratitude or to truly appreciate the unique qualities you brought to their life, the relationship could have flourished. But often, it takes distance and time for these truths to become apparent. For you, this phase is an opportunity to grow. The experience of being overlooked can teach you the value of setting boundaries and prioritizing relationships where mutual appreciation is present. As hard as it may feel in the moment, their initial ignorance is not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of their inability to see clearly. In the end, the initial ignorance is a stage of the journey, both for them and for you. For them, it's the beginning of a series of realizations that will ultimately lead to regret. For you, it's the first step in reclaiming your power, recognizing your value, and learning to thrive beyond the limits of their appreciation. Number 2, a gradual realization. The process of realizing someone's worth rarely happens overnight. It unfolds slowly, often beginning with small moments of clarity that build over time. This stage, the gradual realization, is where the blinders start to come off, and the significance of what they lost becomes increasingly undeniable. At first, the realization may come in fleeting thoughts or subtle experiences. They might encounter a situation where they expect the kind of support you always offered, only to find it missing. Perhaps they hear a phrase or see a gesture that reminds them of you, sparking a pang of recognition. In these early moments, the depth of your value is hinted at but not yet fully grasped. The gradual realization often deepens when they begin comparing their current reality to what they had with you. Relationships are not just about companionship. They are about connection, trust, and growth. When these elements are missing from their life, the contrast to the relationship they once had with you becomes glaring. The philosopher Epictetus wisely said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." Similarly, your presence likely fulfilled needs they didn't even know they had. Whether it was your ability to ground them during chaos, your unwavering belief in their potential, or the way you made them feel seen and valued, those contributions now stand in stark relief against their current state of life. One of the most poignant aspects of this stage is that it's not triggered by major events, but by the accumulation of small moments. It might be a missed inside joke, a mundane task that you once made more enjoyable, or the absence of the comfort you provided during difficult times. Over time, these moments add up, creating a clearer picture of what they lost. This period of realization is often accompanied by emotional discomfort. As they piece together the impact of your absence, they may also start to recognize their own shortcomings in the relationship. Were they too focused on their needs? Did they fail to express gratitude for your efforts? These questions can lead to a painful but necessary confrontation with their past behavior. It's important to note that this realization is not always purely regretful. Alongside the feelings of loss and guilt, they may develop a sense of admiration for you. Seeing you thrive, whether through social media updates, mutual friends, or chance encounters, can inspire both respect and a deeper awareness of the qualities they overlooked. For them, this stage can be a double-edged sword. On one hand, they're gaining clarity about your worth. On the other, they're grappling with the knowledge that they failed to cherish it when it mattered most. It's a humbling experience, often marked by a mix of nostalgia, sadness, and self-reflection. For you, this phase may be invisible or distant as you've likely moved forward, but it's essential to remember that their realization, however delayed, does not diminish your value. The gradual acknowledgement of your worth by someone who once took it for granted is a testament to your strength and character, not a validation you need, but a recognition that often comes too late. In some cases, this stage may prompt them to reach out, seeking closure or reconciliation. They may test the waters with a casual message, a heartfelt apology, or even an attempt to reconnect. However, it's crucial for you to evaluate whether their intentions align with your current journey. Are they reaching out because they genuinely understand your value, or are they motivated by their own discomfort and longing? The gradual realization is also an opportunity for you to solidify your boundaries and reinforce the lessons you've learned. This stage underscores the importance of self-worth and the necessity of surrounding yourself with people who appreciate your value in real time, not only in hindsight. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Their realization is their journey, not yours. Your happiness and growth remain independent of their newfound awareness, serving as a reminder that your worth has always been intrinsic, regardless of whether they recognized it or not. In the end, the gradual realization marks a turning point, not just for them, but for the dynamic that once defined your relationship. For you, it's a stepping stone towards stronger, more fulfilling connections built on mutual appreciation and respect. For them, it's a bittersweet awakening to the truth of what they lost and the enduring impact of your presence. Number 3. Comparing others to you. As time passes and they continue navigating their life without you, an inevitable phase often arises, the comparison stage. This is when they start measuring others against the standard you set, consciously or unconsciously. Whether it's in new relationships, friendships, or everyday encounters, they begin to notice the ways in which others fall short of what you brought into their life. The comparisons can start subtly, with them noticing small differences. A new partner might not have the same level of empathy or understanding you offered. A friend may not provide the same unwavering support. These observations often spark an inner dialogue as they recall how you filled those gaps effortlessly. It becomes apparent to them that the qualities they once took for granted are not as common as they assumed. What makes this stage particularly impactful is the way it reveals the uniqueness of your connection. While no two people are identical, the qualities you brought, your kindness, resilience, intelligence, or humor, may now stand out as benchmarks they unconsciously use to evaluate others. This realization can evoke mixed emotions, from nostalgia and regret to admiration for the person you are. Comparing others to you is not just about finding faults in others. It's also about confronting their own choices. They may begin to question why they let you go, why they failed to appreciate your efforts, or why they prioritized things that now seem trivial. These reflections can lead to a deeper acknowledgement of the value you brought into their life. This stage often becomes more pronounced in moments of difficulty. For example, when they face challenges, they might miss how you offered practical solutions or emotional support. When they experience joy, they may long for the way you celebrated their successes with genuine enthusiasm. These moments emphasize the depth and authenticity of the bond they had with you, further highlighting the void left in your absence. However, this comparison process is not without its downsides. It can lead them to an unrealistic idealization of who you were in their life, magnifying your strengths while overlooking your human imperfections. This selective memory can create a distorted version of you, one that is flawless and unattainable. In doing so, they may unintentionally set themselves up for disappointment, as no one they meet will live up to this idealized image. For them, this stage is a lesson in the complexity of relationships. It forces them to confront the fact that meaningful connections require effort, gratitude, and mutual respect. Comparing others to you underscores the importance of cherishing what they have when they have it, rather than realizing its value only in hindsight. On your end, this phase might remain entirely unknown to you. While they grapple with their comparisons and realizations, you're likely moving forward, focused on your growth and new opportunities. It's important to remember that their reflections are not a reflection of your worth. It's simply part of their journey to understanding what they lost. From a Stoic perspective, this phase also highlights the transient nature of relationships and the importance of living in the present. As Marcus Aurelius wisely observed, reject your sense of injury, and the injury itself disappears. Similarly, their act of comparing others to you might stem from a longing to undo the past, but life moves in only one direction. For them, this stage serves as a stark reminder of the cost of their decisions and the importance of valuing connections in real time. This stage also presents a valuable lesson for you. It reinforces the necessity of being with people who appreciate your worth from the start, rather than those who realize it too late. The comparisons they make are their burden to bear, not yours. Your growth, happiness, and self-worth are independent of their late realizations. Ultimately, the phase of comparing others to you is bittersweet. It allows them to recognize your unique qualities, but also forces them to confront the reality that their opportunity to cherish you has passed. For you, it's a testament to the impact you've had, and a reminder to seek relationships where mutual respect and appreciation are present from the beginning. Number 4, missing the stability. You brought stability is a cornerstone of meaningful relationships, yet it often goes unnoticed until it's absent. In this stage, they begin to feel the void left by the steady presence you once provided. It's not just about the routine you shared or the roles you played. It's about the deeper sense of security and balance that you brought into their life. In hindsight, they may come to realize that you were the grounding force in their world. You offered a sense of calm during chaos, provided solutions when they faced problems, and created an environment where they felt safe to be themselves. This stability might have seemed effortless at the time, but now, without it, they recognize its profound impact. The absence of your stability becomes especially apparent during challenging times. When life throws unexpected hurdles their way, they might miss how you navigated obstacles with grace or helped them see the bigger picture. Your ability to provide clarity and support is now a glaring absence, leaving them to grapple with uncertainty on their own. This phase often brings about a deeper appreciation for the emotional and mental balance you contributed. They may remember how you listened patiently, diffused tension, or encouraged them when they doubted themselves. These moments, once taken for granted, now stand out as testaments to the reliability you embodied. From a Stoic perspective, stability is not about controlling external circumstances, but about maintaining inner tranquility. Epictetus wisely noted, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." During your time together, your calm and composed reactions likely influenced their own ability to manage stress and uncertainty. Now, without your stabilizing presence, they may find themselves struggling to maintain that same equilibrium. The longing for stability isn't just about emotional grounding, It's also about practical support. Perhaps you handled responsibilities with efficiency, managed conflicts with fairness, or brought structure to their otherwise disorganized life. These contributions, though often overlooked in the moment, are painfully missed as they realize the effort and care you invested in creating a harmonious dynamic. In relationships, stability fosters growth. It provides a safe space where both individuals can thrive without fear of judgment or inconsistency. By missing the stability you brought, they are also confronted with the realization that they may have failed to reciprocate. This acknowledgement can lead to feelings of guilt and regret as they understand how their actions or inactions may have disrupted the balance you worked so hard to maintain. For you, moving forward from this stage is a powerful reminder of your strength. Providing stability requires patience, resilience, and self-awareness, qualities that not everyone possesses. The fact that they now miss these attributes in your absence is a testament to the value you brought into their life. It's also a cue to seek connections where your efforts to create harmony are appreciated and reciprocated. This phase can be a turning point for them. Missing the stability you provided might inspire them to cultivate those qualities within themselves. As Marcus Aurelius advised, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. By reflecting on the sense of security they lost, they may be motivated to develop their own emotional resilience and stability, both for themselves and in future relationships. However, this stage is often bittersweet for them. While they yearn for the sense of stability you brought, they must come to terms with the fact that it's no longer theirs to rely on. This realization underscores the weight of their loss and the consequences of taking you for granted. For you, this stage serves as a validation of your worth and the impact you've had. Stability is a rare and valuable gift, and the fact that they now miss it so deeply highlights the unique role you played in their life. As you continue on your journey, remember that the strength and stability you possess are intrinsic to who you are. They were never dependent on their recognition or validation. This realization becomes a reminder of your resilience and a call to continue building a life rooted in self-assurance, growth, and balance. By focusing on your own stability, you not only enrich your own life, but also set the stage for relationships where your worth is cherished from the start. Number 5, recognizing the loyalty they took for granted. Loyalty is an undervalued treasure, often overlooked until it's absent. As they reflect on your shared history, the realization of your unwavering loyalty begins to surface, and with it comes a wave of regret for having taken it for granted. Loyalty is not just about remaining physically present, it's about emotional and mental dedication, the willingness to stand by someone through challenges and triumphs alike. This realization can be a profound moment of reckoning for them as they come to understand the depth of what they lost. In your relationship, your loyalty may have shown itself in countless ways, through your support during their struggles, your patience in times of conflict, or your consistent presence when they needed someone most. These actions might have seemed like givens to them at the time, but now, in your absence, they feel the weight of that steadfastness. Loyalty is a rare and precious quality, one that requires trust, selflessness, and commitment. The Stoic philosopher Seneca remarked, "Loyalty is the holiest good in the human heart, yet its true value often goes unnoticed by those who have never had to question its presence." For them, your loyalty was a foundation they leaned on, a source of security that allowed them to navigate life with confidence, knowing you had their back. Now, without you, they are confronted with the reality of relationships where loyalty is not guaranteed. They may encounter others who prioritize their own interests over the partnership, leaving them yearning for the unwavering dedication you once provided. This stark contrast forces them to confront how they failed to honor the loyalty you gave so freely. As they reflect on past moments, they might remember times when you defended them, forgave their mistakes, or supported their dreams, even at personal cost. These memories become bittersweet, highlighting your rare commitment and their inability to fully appreciate it. The regret of taking your loyalty for granted often leads to self-doubt, as they question why they couldn't reciprocate in the same way. This stage can also be an uncomfortable confrontation with their own shortcomings. They may recognize patterns of behavior, taking your sacrifices lightly, assuming you would always stay, or failing to acknowledge your efforts. Such realizations can be painful, as they are forced to acknowledge their role in undermining a bond built on trust and dedication. From a Stoic perspective, loyalty aligns with the virtues of justice and courage. Justice demands that we honor those who honor us, while courage requires standing firm in our commitments. In hindsight, they may see how your actions embodied these virtues, serving as a model of what loyalty truly means. This recognition can inspire them to evaluate their own behavior and strive to embody similar principles in future relationships. For you, this phase of their realization is a testament to your character. Loyalty is not an obligation. It's a choice, and the fact that they now long for it is a reflection of its value. Your unwavering commitment speaks to your strength and integrity, qualities that should never be diminished or compromised. While they may feel compelled to seek reconciliation, hoping to regain the loyalty they lost, the reality is that trust and commitment cannot simply be reclaimed. Loyalty thrives in an environment of mutual respect and appreciation. By neglecting to nurture that foundation, they severed the bond that once tied you together. Your journey of moving forward requires embracing the lessons learned and holding firm to the boundaries that protect your sense of self-worth. As Marcus Aurelius advised, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. By continuing to live with authenticity and integrity, you not only honor yourself, but also set a standard for how loyalty should be valued and reciprocated. This phase marks a turning point for them. Recognizing the loyalty they took for granted can serve as a catalyst for personal growth. It compels them to reevaluate their priorities, reflect on their actions, and seek to build deeper connections in the future. However, for you, it's a moment of validation. A reminder that your loyalty is a gift that should be cherished, not assumed. Number 6. Seeing your growth from afar. Growth is one of the most powerful forms of resilience, especially when it occurs after a significant loss or challenge. For someone who has lost you, witnessing your growth from a distance can be a profound and humbling experience. It forces them to confront the reality of your strength, independence, and determination, even in their absence. This stage often leads to a deep sense of regret as they realize how much they underestimated you. From afar, your growth speaks volumes. It is evident in the way you carry yourself, the opportunities you seize, and the life you've built without them. Whether through professional achievements, personal milestones, or simply the radiance of your newfound confidence, your progress becomes undeniable. Social media posts, mutual friends' updates, or even glimpses of you in passing can serve as stark reminders of how far you've come. As they observe your journey, they may begin to understand what they lost. Your growth signifies not just your ability to move on, but also the strength you possess to thrive independently. For them, this realization can be bittersweet. On one hand, they might feel admiration for your resilience. On the other, they grapple with the knowledge that they are no longer part of your life. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." Your growth embodies this principle by showing that your happiness and success are not dependent on external validation, least of all theirs. Instead, you've cultivated a sense of self-worth that allows you to flourish, proving that your value was never tied to their approval or presence. For them, seeing your progress from afar can evoke a range of emotions. There's the admiration for your strength, sadness for their absence, and a longing for what could have been. They may compare the person you've become to the person they once knew, realizing that your transformation highlights their own stagnation. This stark contrast can be a harsh wake-up call, one that forces them to reflect on their own choices and missed opportunities. Your growth also challenges them to confront their past behavior. They may recall moments when they dismissed your potential, underestimated your abilities, or failed to support your aspirations. These memories become sharper as they witness you achieving what they might have once doubted. The regret that arises from this can be a powerful motivator, prompting them to reassess their own priorities and strive for personal growth. Yet, as you continue to move forward, your focus remains on your own path. This is perhaps the most impactful aspect of your growth. The fact that it is not driven by a need to prove them wrong, but by a genuine desire to better yourself. By prioritizing your own happiness and goals, you've demonstrated that your worth is not defined by anyone else's opinion. From a Stoic perspective, your journey exemplifies the principle of controlling what is within your power. You've taken control of your reactions, your mindset, and your future, rather than dwelling on what was lost. This empowerment not only fuels your progress, but also serves as a beacon for others, inspiring them to pursue their own growth. For them, the experience of seeing your growth from afar can be transformative. It forces them to confront their regrets, evaluate their actions, and acknowledge the consequences of their choices. While they may long to reconnect or make amends, they must also come to terms with the fact that your growth has created a new dynamic, one in which you no longer depend on their presence or validation. Ultimately, your growth is a testament to your resilience and self-determination. It serves as a reminder that while loss can be painful, it can also be a catalyst for profound transformation. By choosing to focus on your own journey, you've not only reclaimed your power, but also set an example of what it means to rise above adversity. Number 7. The pain of their own actions. When someone finally confronts the reality of losing you, a significant and often painful aspect of their journey is recognizing the role their actions played in that loss. This stage marks a turning point as they begin to see the consequences of their behavior, not only on the relationship, but also on their own sense of self. It's a moment of reckoning, filled with guilt, shame, and deep introspection. The pain of their own actions is rooted in the memories of their mistakes. They might recall the times they failed to appreciate your efforts, disregarded your feelings, or prioritized their needs over the relationship. These moments, which may have seemed insignificant at the time, now carry a heavy weight. As Marcus Aurelius wisely noted, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. By continuing to thrive without them, you embody this principle, forcing them to face their shortcomings without retaliation or malice on your part. This reflection often leads to a realization of the harm they caused, not just to you, but to themselves. They may come to see how their actions stemmed from their insecurities, immaturity, or inability to value what they had. It's a humbling process, as they acknowledge that the loss of the relationship was not just an unfortunate circumstance, but a direct result of their choices. The guilt associated with this awareness can be overwhelming. They may replay past events in their mind, wishing they had done things differently. The words left unsaid, the apologies never made, and the opportunities to mend things now feel like glaring omissions. This internal struggle becomes a catalyst for growth as they start to understand the importance of accountability and the impact of their actions on others. For some, this pain manifests as a desire to make amends. They might consider reaching out, not to rekindle the relationship, but to apologize and seek closure. However, they often fear that their attempts might be too little, too late. This fear can deepen their regret as they grapple with the possibility that their actions have caused irreparable damage. From a Stoic perspective, this stage underscores the value of reflection and personal responsibility. As Seneca said, every guilty person is his own hangman. The pain they experience is a natural consequence of their behavior, a self-imposed punishment that stems from their recognition of the truth. Yet this pain can also be a powerful teacher, prompting them to change their ways and approach future relationships with greater care and mindfulness. For you, their realization may bring a sense of validation. It confirms that your worth was not diminished by their inability to appreciate it. However, your focus remains on your own growth and healing rather than their regret. Their pain, while significant, is no longer your burden to bear. In the end, the pain of their own actions is a reflection of the lessons they must learn. It forces them to confront their flaws, reevaluate their priorities, and strive for self-improvement. While it's a difficult process, it's also an essential step in their journey, one that has the potential to lead to lasting growth and transformation. Number 8, the desire to reconnect. As time passes and the weight of their loss settles in, a profound longing often emerges, the desire to reconnect. This stage is marked by an inner turmoil, a mix of hope and regret as they grapple with the reality of their decisions and the yearning to rebuild what was broken. For many, this longing stems from a combination of nostalgia, self-reflection, and an awareness of the unique connection they once shared with you. The realization of what they've lost often hits hardest when they see or hear about your progress. Your resilience, independence, and growth act as a mirror, reflecting their own stagnation and the void left by your absence. They may scroll through old messages, revisit shared memories, or even follow your life from a distance, whether through social media or mutual acquaintances. Each reminder amplifies the recognition of your value and the role you played in their life. This longing to reconnect is not just about rekindling a relationship, it's also about seeking closure or validation. They may feel compelled to apologize, hoping to ease the guilt of their past actions. Alternatively, they might hope for a chance to rebuild the bond, clinging to the belief that things could be different this time. As Rainer Maria Rilke once wrote, "Love consists in this, that two solitudes protect and touch and greet each other." This sentiment captures their hope for a second chance, one where mutual respect and understanding can redefine the connection. Yet, the fear of rejection looms large. They know that reaching out might not be met with open arms. This fear often causes hesitation, leading to overanalyzing potential outcomes or drafting messages they never send. They worry that the damage done may be irreversible and that their attempts to reconnect might only reaffirm the distance between you. From a Stoic perspective, the desire to reconnect can serve as an important life lesson for them. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." For them, this means accepting the consequences of their actions and focusing on personal growth rather than clinging to what cannot be changed. Reaching out may be a part of their healing process, but it does not guarantee the outcome they hope for. For you, their longing to reconnect might evoke mixed emotions. On one hand, it validates the strength and worth you've always had. On the other hand, you've likely grown beyond the relationship, finding fulfillment and peace in your own journey. The decision to engage with their attempts to reconnect is entirely yours, guided by your own values, boundaries, and aspirations. Ultimately, their desire to reconnect is a bittersweet reflection of the impact you had on their life. It highlights the depth of the connection they took for granted and the profound void they now feel. Whether or not the relationship is restored, this stage represents a moment of clarity for them, a chance to learn from their mistakes and approach future relationships with greater care and appreciation. Number 9. Your power in moving forward. One of the most profound impacts you can have on someone who took you for granted is the undeniable power you display in moving forward. When you embrace your own growth, resilience, and independence, you send a clear message. Your worth is not determined by anyone else's recognition. This stage is not just about letting go, but about thriving in ways that highlight your inner strength and ability to rebuild. Moving forward is an act of courage and a testament to self-love. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca aptly observed, sometimes even to live is an act of courage. This courage is evident in your willingness to let go of what no longer serves you, even when it means walking away from someone who once held a significant place in your life. You have chosen to focus on your personal growth, pursue new opportunities, and create a life that aligns with your values and aspirations. For the person who undervalued you, witnessing your progress can be both inspiring and deeply unsettling. Your success serves as a stark contrast to their inaction or regret, highlighting what they lost by not valuing the connection when they had the chance. Whether through your career achievements, personal milestones, or emotional resilience, your growth becomes a powerful reminder of the partnership they failed to nurture. This power shift often leaves them grappling with complex emotions: admiration for your strength, sadness for their absence in your journey, and regret for their past actions. As they see you thriving without their influence, they are forced to confront the reality that your happiness no longer depends on them. This realization can be humbling, prompting them to reflect on their own choices and the consequences of their behavior. Your journey of moving forward is not about proving a point to anyone else, but about reclaiming your own narrative. It involves recognizing that your worth is intrinsic, not reliant on external validation. By prioritizing your well-being and embracing self-improvement, you set an example for others, including those who once underestimated you. This transformation not only empowers you, but also serves as a beacon of hope for those facing similar challenges. In many ways, your ability to move forward becomes the ultimate form of closure. It signifies that you have healed from past wounds and are no longer tethered to the hurt caused by others. Instead of seeking revenge or dwelling on what could have been, you channel your energy into building a fulfilling life. This approach aligns with the Stoic principle of focusing on what is within your control and letting go of what is not. Ultimately, your power in moving forward is a celebration of your resilience and independence. It reminds others and yourself that your happiness is rooted in your own choices and efforts. By embracing this strength, you not only reclaim your own path, but also inspire others to recognize their own potential for growth and renewal.